Hi guys. I'm a little bit germophobic, I'll admit. I don't eat GMOs. There's hidden mosaic viruses and crazy things in those. I don't eat pork. It has the trichina worm in it. I do believe that the Torah tells us not to do certain things for health reasons. And Revelation is one of my favorite books in the Bible. And so recently with all this plague talk, I've been a little freaked out. So I'm going to go over a few things with you. Mainly, I'm going to try to relate these things back to how the Torah could actually save your life. So, I don't know. So just take a look right here. Let's start with Ebola. Ebola, or the hemorrhagic fever. In other words, I'm pretty sure it's bleeding out of the eyes. Yeah. Supposedly, it started this recent outbreak, and whether you believe it's an issue or not, whatever. I don't want to catch this, okay? Now it says, as of an hour ago, 163 new Ebola cases and 61 new deaths. From what I've read, it's a 60% death rate. And here's where it is in Africa. Blah, 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 blah. And the word on the street is that they were eating bats. And now, if I was starving to death, I would eat a bat too. But it is against the Torah. So wouldn't it be nice if we had missionaries going around and instead of teaching salvation by grace alone and everything you do will be forgiven no matter what, however many times, we actually taught people how to be healthy by reading the Bible and following its suggestions. That's just my thought. I wish that's what missionaries were doing in Africa. But instead, they're whatever they're doing. And then coming back to the United States with Ebola. Not that they don't deserve treatment, but maybe they should treat people there. All the people, not just the white missionaries. Moving on. Flesh-eating bacteria. Well, I'm from the Panhandle of Florida. And I was recently, my family and I were planning to visit the Panhandle of Florida and stay at a beach house that we are no longer going to stay at because people have been dying of the flesh-eating Streptococcus bacterium that is now breeding in the warm Gulf waters. Yeah, guys. Yeah. Okay. So that's scary. But you know what it's connected to? Oysters. The Torah also warns against eating shellfish. It warns against eating bats. They're not kosher. It warns against eating shellfish. Guess what? If you cut your foot on an oyster, you could still get it. If you even swim in the water near the oysters, you could still get it. But if you eat the oysters, and if you eat the oysters raw, you better watch out. People have died within days of contracting this bacteria. And now it's just out of control. The belief is, or the theory that me and my husband have, is that it came from the BP oil spill, and that's just a whole other conspiracy, like how they contracted the company that sold the dispersants not long before the spill happened, and then they made more money off of the dispersants than they would have made on the oil that spilled, which is very suspicious and makes me very upset because I love the Gulf beaches. It's where I used to go for my refuge when I was stressed out. Anyways, oysters. So, following Torah again could save your life. Just saying, could save your life. Flesh-eating Vibrio vulnificus in Florida. And it's also been in Mississippi. It's in northern Florida and southern Florida. A couple people from my hometown were kind of a little bit like, no, it doesn't happen here. It was just South Florida. It's been all over. And just because it wasn't in one particular area where I was going to go to this one beach house doesn't mean it wouldn't become there soon because it was on both sides of it. So, goodbye. And, anyway, a rental unit where people traipse seawater everywhere and get straight in the pool, and nope, not going. Moving on, the bubonic plague is now breaking out. The Black Death. This is great, guys. I am being sarcastic. I'm sure you understand this. Uh-oh, it's in China. Why is it in China? Well, this isn't directly related to the Torah, but to the book of Revelation. I believe this has to do with the New World Order. You see, the New Order has a goal of having a one-world government and one-world monetary system. And so what that is that's encouraging things like the EU and NAFTA and the UN and all of these kind of trade deals, okay? And so we're coming to a flat world, globalization. And people in Europe, a lot of them died from the plague a few hundred years ago. And now people in China somehow are coming up with it. Why? Well, maybe those people don't have the immunity. And maybe that's what's going on with all these other viruses. Maybe people just don't have the immunity from it. And we're transporting things all over the world for this wonderful new world order. And so these diseases are cropping up all over the place. Okay? All over the place. Can you sit and look? You want to see? So, just making a point here. The bubonic plague. Now, I have a bunch of herbs growing on my back porch. I have rosemary, sage, thyme, oregano. Oregano and thyme and rosemary are just really medicinal. Plant your garlic bulbs now. That'll help a lot. Get a nice hot raw garlic and chew that stuff. First sign of infection, including the plague. Or any virus or any bacteria. Just anyway. But a lot of our foods have been hybridized. That's against Torah. So if for some reason these plagues are coming from on Satan or it's GMOs, then you can also go back to Torah, Deuteronomy 22:9, and read how if you hybridize your seed, it will be defiled and so will its fruit. So it will make you sick, like with all these plagues. Moving on, the next evil, crazy plague that's freaking me out and making me review the book of Revelation for the 7 seals and the plagues and wondering if we're there now, is rabies. Yes, I'm in Fort Hood and there's rabies. The 5th confirmed case recently happened. Oh, wrong way. This is great. 5th confirmed case. And where are the people getting it from? Well, wild animals, which are not kosher, which they're approaching. You can get bit by a bat apparently while you're drunk and you may not even know it. She thinks this is awful too. She says this is really bad. Rabies. So, if it ain't kosher, folks, there's a reason. Certain animals are dirty and they carry diseases. Now, I have a dog and she's not kosher, but I try to treat her as kosherly as possible. I don't feed her pork. And lately, I have been accompanying her outside. We have a fenced-in backyard. I am with her outside. She has been shot up with her recent rabies vaccine, too. I don't vaccinate myself because it is against Torah, but she ain't kosher, so I guess she can do non-kosher things like that. The point is, be careful, guys. And if you do read your Torah and you look at it as a health book, not some magical thing that got thrown away by a fairy who came down and waved his thunder stick, whatever it is you believe, just read the Torah. And when it says your seed will be defiled, it doesn't mean don't marry someone from another race. It means don't hybridize your seed. You know what I'm saying? It's literal. It's literal farming things. And my baby is tired of this. She says, Mommy, this is too long. So, we're going to call it off now. You guys have a great day. And, again, read your Torah. All right. Thanks. Bye.